So I'll just sit down right here and thank you once again for hanging out with me on my channel. You know, this is kind of how I'm getting through the year 2020 is just projecting what I know about music and sharing licks and hanging out with you guys. Well, you hear a lot about pentatonic scales. They are important and they're pretty fun and they're not too hard to handle. So they're good for if you've only been playing guitar a short amount of time, they're great, but even the most experienced, best guitar players we've ever heard use them all the time. So let's have a little fun with a major pentatonic. I'm going to do E major pentatonic like this. Cool. I'm not the fastest guitar player on the internet, and that's okay. So what I did there, and you know, if I could play super fast, I probably would, but I can't. So I have to make do being a little bit melodic and use space and rely on my band and just we compensate a little bit. So what I did there, remember penta is 5, tonic is note, so it's a 5-note scale, but I did a couple of octaves there. So that pattern there is like 12, 9, 12, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 7. And I did some pull-offs. 2 on each set of 2 notes. 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string, 5th string, 5th string again, and the root. So that's key of E because we start on an E, end on an E, I guess, and one way to hint that it might be key of E. Now I'm going to go down to D. Cool. Concentrating pretty hard here. So I just took it 2 frets down. That's called a whole step when you go 2 frets on guitar. So a whole step lower than E is D. I'll do D again. So that's 10, 7, 10, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7. Land on the root at 5. That's D. So knowing the root is huge of whatever you do. Cool. You know, I always want to be just a little faster, but I should probably work at it a little harder. Okay, let's go down to C. C is at the 8th fret. It's another whole step down. So I'm going to be doing 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3. Remember, I'm doing pull-offs. Now we'll go down a half step. Half step on guitar is just 1 fret. A half step down to B. That's a 7, 4, 7, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 2. So my index finger is like covering 2 strings initially, and then I hop it over 1 string, and hop it again, and shift. I wonder what would happen if here's a possibility, but I normally wouldn't do this as bar across 5 strings. Hey, not bad. So that's kind of why I like doing these videos, because it forces me to come back and explain the things I've played for a long time. I used to be kind of against that, what I just did, but I realized that was silly. Just parking your finger across 5 strings. It eliminates that creep, creep, creep when you move across to the next string with your index finger. I like it. Let's go down another whole step to A. I'm going to do the lay it flat on 5 strings again. Ooh, I ended with a nice little... Now those are pull-offs. Pull-offs. That was 1 pick stroke, got 3 notes. Whoa. And you can hold it. So a lot of times with pull-offs, people think they have to be really fast. But you can actually do them. And I'll do one in open G. So that's got open strings. I'm going 3 0 3 0 2 0 2 0 2 0 3. That's why the key of G rules. That's why we love G. And a lot of my guitar students will lock into that G chord, and I'm like, let's try, key of F or key of F sharp, or, they're like, yeah, but I just like the G chord. I'm like, yeah, I know you do, but you gotta move this way and that way and get out of that G. I mean, stay with G, but expand at the same time. That is pretty cool, but if we go up an octave, then you gotta... So I just realized you can get the root on the same fret that you started on if you want. Let's try it on E. Versus the position shift. Let's do it D. I'm going to hit 10 and 10 for the roots. Cool. I'm learning. C and B. B and A. Well, let's notice one thing about A is all of these you can camp out on that shape. That's a really important chord. Did I mention that before? I think I have. But a lot of times with A, as I ramble, you'll see people learn it from a book like that. I'm like, oh, what a mess. Or, like that. I'm like, ugh, what a mess. I like middle ring pinky for a lot of reasons, because then you can go to A minor easily, or A suspended 4, and you can also jump it over to E. These 2 fingers will jump you over to E nice. And these fingers are more skinny. This is fat. These 3 fat fingers don't fit in there very well. Middle ring, pinky's more skinny, fits in better. But if you don't do that, do that. That is great, because then you're ready for... using that is awesome for your A chord. Or, oops. Cool. All right, so that's major pentatonic. I would memorize that pattern and practice it. Of course, you got to get creative with it and get wild with it, of course, but I like to simplify the practice and just make sure you got the pattern down, and then we talk about getting expressive with it the next step, But first we make sure you've got the scale, and you practice the scale and get it down, and then, expand. Okay, cool. Good talk. Thanks for hanging out. I'm old Brookie, and I'll be back. See ya.